This weekend, the Sports Car Club of America returns to America's National Park of Speed, Road America. Across 2 grueling days of competition, 23 champions will be crowned in an event unique in motorsports. For over 400 drivers, a season's toil culminates in this single event with a chance to earn a coveted gold medal and the title of national champion in the 62nd edition of the SCCA National Championship Runoffs, presented by Sunoco.
And then there was one. The shadows are long over America's National Park of Speed as we're about to kick off the final race of the 2025 SCCA National Championship Runoffs presented by Sunoco. Thanks to Mazda for presenting our live stream on these Hagerty race days. And we've had 2 great days of racing, and we're going to put a period on this edition with this STL National Championship race as we've got 14 drivers ready to get started. I'm John Phippen alongside Tom O'Gorman as we'll bring you the play-by-play of this 13-lap or 40-minute race. But the third member of our broadcast team, Hayward Wagner, roaming down on the grid as he's got all the inside stories of what we can expect for this final race of the runoffs. Should be a great battle as we've got the defending champion, Jose Pena, starting on the pole, looking for his second runoffs victory. He had a podium earlier today in the STU class, and also a former champion, Nick Leveroni, out of the New England region, who took this class, or took the T4 win in 2019. But it sounds like Hayward Wagner is ready for us down on the grid for the final time this weekend. Hayward?
Yes, indeed. This is the final chapter of the 2025 runoffs here at Road America. We've had a great week, and we're going to finish with a great race. This is a favorite class of a lot of folks here at the runoffs. These are the pocket rocket, lightweight production cars. They can do motor swaps. They can do all kinds of cool stuff to make these cars fun. Jose Pena is on pole. He's your defending champion. He earned this #1 last year. I am told he would very much like to keep it. Everybody behind him is just trying to keep him in their vision. But I wanted to show you this. This is the coolest sticker at the runoffs. Jose's got the kids' birth footprints and names right there riding along with them.
What an awesome way to kick off the runoffs and his championship defense, perhaps, as we can see the well-dressed grid workers with the red, white, blue top hat on, and the 57 car getting the hood down on it. Chuck Hines from the North Carolina region making his final steps. There's the car of Mike Taylor, the 39, out of the Atlanta region, as he's getting it fired up. And these cars are going to head out on their formation lap behind the Mazda safety car, at which point we'll do a quick break to thank some of the folks that make this broadcast possible. But until then, looking forward to this one. Tomo, who do you like in this race?
Well, there's a couple of cool stories. I mean, the obvious pick would be Pena, but it has not been an easy week for Jose. He had a bunch of small issues here and there through the practice days, through qualifying as well. In fact, missed qualifying day 1 to work on the car. And when they came around time for qualifying day 2, it was right after a session that had a bunch of oil on the track. They had a ton of oil dry down. It was mid-80s at that point in the day, just not good track conditions at all. He had that 1 20-minute session to put a time on the board and put in a time just 2/10 quicker than Mike Taylor to take the pole position away. Everybody else, for the most part, there's only 3 cars that went faster on day 2. Everybody else was fastest on day 1. So Pena, I would say, probably has even more pace than he's shown because of all those conditions and troubles. But it is a high-strung race car. The rumor on the street is turning nearly 10,000 RPMs out of that 1.6 liter. But pivoting away from that, the other cool part is this class has been a pretty consistent storyline with names like Stain, Moser, and Pena, but of course we also have had winners like Malloy and getting back to now 10 years, Adam Roberts and Kevin Boehm. It's been a pretty consistent cast of podium finishers, and most of them aren't here. So we're going to see some new faces on the podium in theory. We're going to see some new battles, and the rest of the field is very, very close as well, starting from about 3rd, 4th, 5th. Any of those drivers, you know, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch who kind of brings their A game to this championship race.
Tomo, it'll be no surprise to anybody, but let's have you take us a lap around the track one last time for the runoffs here as the track map presented by Mazda.
This is a high momentum track for cars like this, outputting maybe 180 to 220 horsepower. It's a long run up the hill from 14 at the green flag down into turn 1, very fast corner using all the runoff if you need it. quick little braking zone at turn 3, maybe a third gear corner, and then a heavy acceleration zone all the way through the gears down into the braking zone at turn 5, clearing maybe just at 130 miles an hour. Up the hill at turn 6 through the Corvette Bridge. Trickiest corner on the track, especially the front-wheel drive cars. They're going to want to float through there just a little bit. Then a flat-out run through the hurry downs at turn 7. Braking zone for turn 8 with a lot of heavy runoff. I'll mention at this point in the lap, there's multiple curves at this point that you will have hit to go fast that can really rattle the suspension. Then around the carousel into the fast section at the exit of turn 10. Through the kink at turn 11. In the background there, you're taking a look at that daunting tunnel through the trees into Canada Corner. A little bit of an uphill dig, a blind entry at turn 13. It's flat out and all the good handling cars in this track anyway, or in this class anyway, excuse me, and then turn 14 will finish off the lap.
Well done, my friend, as that's a trip around the 14-turn 4-mile circuit here at Elkhart Lake, Indiana, in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. There is an Elkhart Lake, Indiana, but that's not where the racetrack is, but who's counting? Anyway, it's been a long weekend, and we're all a little punch drunk here, but we're going to get the job done. No worries about it, as the cars are just about ready to be released from the pit lane. So let's take a quick break. Thanks some of the folks that have made these broadcasts possible throughout the weekend. We'll be back.
We're Tire Rack. We test tires to provide you with truth, transparency, and unbiased recommendations. We stock over 1 million tires to ensure we have what you need. We're Tire Rack. We work hard to ship your tires fast and free. We offer convenient installation options to keep you moving forward. We do all this for one reason. Tires matter. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Choose joy. Choose the road. Choose your people. Choose your shot. Take it. Choose to get in there. Even better, get out there. That's it. Way out there. Choose your calling. Choose to really care. Choose to go for it. Just choose. We craft cars for those who choose to do more than simply move.
I'll wake up.
Okay, track day checklist. Let's go. You got your gloves, your helmet, water, snacks, sunscreen, your car is prepped and ready to go. Oof, forgot your track day insurance, didn't you? If you want to be covered for the whole value of your car, you need high-performance driver education coverage through Hagerty. We'll get you a policy for track days, time trials, and more in less time than it took you to apply that sunscreen. Hagerty, let's drive together.
We're back as the field makes its way around on their formation lap. Let's introduce these starters to you. Starting on the pole, the defending champion, Jose Pena, out of the Puerto Rico region, the Honda CRX. Next to him, the number 39 of Mike Taylor from the Atlanta region in his Acura Integra. Row 2, the 37, Nick Cleveroni, the 2019 T4 national champion from the New England region in a Miata in his 20th runoff start. Next to him, David Paul Finier and the number 40 out of the Chicago region in a Mazda MX-5. In row 3, the 57 of Chuck Hines, seeing him for the second time today from the North Carolina region in his MX-5. And Craig McAfee in the number 68 from the New England region in another MX-5. In row 4, the 114 of Amy Mills from the Northwest region. It's a Mazda Miata. And the youngest driver in the field, the number 32 of Deacon Greenfield from the Washington, D.C. region in a Honda CRX. John Sewell will start inside of row 5 and the number 48 from the Florida region in an Acura Integra Type R. And then he's next to the 63 of Bill Collins from the Land O'Lakes region in a Honda Civic. In row 6, the 09 of Maxwell Kittleson from the Milwaukee region in a Ford Focus SVT, next to the oldest driver in the field, the 21 of John Elder from the Land O'Lakes region in a Mazda Miata. And in the 7th and final row, the 23 is Carl Young from the San Francisco region in a Honda Prelude, and making his 20th runoff start, the number 79 of Dan Harding from the Ohio region. As the field working its way down the hill and around behind the safety car. It's a shot of the 79 of Dan Harding in his Mazda Miata. He was the winner of the Hawk Breakthrough Performance Award for making up the most positions in between day one and day two of the two qualifying session. Mike Taylor won the Sunoco 260 award for a qualifying performance on the first day closest to .260, 15 gallons of Sunoco fuel for him. And we have one Super Sweep eligible driver in the field. That's Nick Leveroni, who starts inside of row 2. If he takes the win, he will notch the Super Sweep. In the same class, the driver has to win the Hoosier Super Tour race, win the Hoosier Super Tour National Points Championship, win a U.S. Majors Tour Conference Championship, and win the runoffs. It's a tall order. We've made one Super Sweep presentation so far this weekend that I know of. There may be others for races that I didn't call. And Nick Leveroni is in a pretty good position to perhaps close out the runoffs with a Super Sweep. But he's going to have to find his way around Jose Pena and Mike Taylor to make that happen, as we are getting ready for the start here as the safety car pulls off into the pit lane. And our 7 rows of starters lined up nicely as they begin this steep climb up the hill and come under the attention of the starter. Starter's looking him over. Once he likes what he sees, he'll throw the green. And Pena gets the jump, as he should. He controls the pace coming up the hill. And Pena does indeed get the jump, but it's side by side between Taylor and Leveroni for the second position. As they work their way down into turn number 1, Pena's going to get away. And the Miata's going to make it through. Big accurate, way wide. I didn't get the number.
David Palfinier going for a big ride in the ND. All these cars 2 liters or less. It's Honda versus Mazda still. Taylor back on the inside of Leveroni trying to get the position back. It's also a great start for the red NC MX-5 of Craig McAfee from about 6th or 7th on the grid. Came up through the middle of the row in front, follows Chuck Hines through, but it's a clean getaway for Jose Pena.
Pena getting away in that CRX, as he is wont to do. That car is quick indeed. As Tama was saying, didn't get a chance to qualify, was working on the car for the first day of qualifying and came through as one of the few cars that was able to make an improvement on day 2. As the 48 of John Sewell trying to make a move.
Big mover and shaker so far at the green flag. He started all the way back in the 9th position, now challenging for 6th. Running with Mike Taylor, often those two not officially teammates, but as near as makes no difference. Very similar cars. They're running in 2nd and in 6th. And Mike Taylor was only 2/10 off pace in qualifying to Pena. If Pena doesn't have much more in the tank than that, we're going to have a proper battle here at the front of STL. Taylor keeping him honest so far.
As they make their way under the Motul Bridge and into the carousel on the first lap at speed. It's Jose Pena with the lead. Mike Taylor, Leveroni right there to battle with him. Taylor with the position at the moment in the Acura. Through the kink for the first time. That Acura's probably got a little more muscle than the CRX, I would think.
Yes, 1.6 liter under the CRX's hood, a 1.8 liter for the Integra, so a little bit more displacement. Someone backwards and into the concrete. Driver's right, exiting the kink. Oh man, it was I want to say an MX-5 shape, but I'm not sure of it. We'll give it a minute. Mike Taylor, though, in the meantime, picked up the lead from Pena, went through on the braking zone after a really fast run through the kink. Pena not feeling comfortable in the short wheelbase CRX, and Mike Taylor able to take over the lead in the braking zone for Canada Corner. I think it's inevitable we go full course yellow, but they're going to give it a moment to see how long it takes for that other car to settle in place in the kink.
Sounds like we're going to get a replay of that incident as the full course yellow comes out. Drivers seeing that as Pena was in the midst of trying to make a pass here.
Oh, it was Palfinier again, struggling. He went off in turn 1 and now pancakes the car pretty good. Driver's side after spinning around. That car very unsettled at the beginning of this race and unfortunately caught him out. And then here's the pass for the lead. Pena saw it coming, leaves the space. Nice gentlemanly racing, but Taylor is going to get to lead this one to the restart. Heartbreaking for Palfinier.
Yeah, I hope he's okay. That was a pretty good pancake into the barrier at a very daunting part of this racetrack. As the field backs up, we can do a quick rundown as they cross the line. Taylor, your leader. Pena of the pole sitter in 2nd. Nick Leveroni in 3rd. Chuck Hines in 4th. Craig McAfee in 5th. John Sewell in 6th. Again, a good run from back in 9th. Deacon Greenfield in 7th. Amy Mills running in 8th. Bill Collins in 9th. And Maxwell Kittleson in the 10th spot. John Elder, Carl Young, and Dan Harding rounding out the 13 cars still surviving. As Palfrenier, unfortunately, the car involved in that incident just past the kink. So we'll need a little time for the safety crews to attend to Palfrenier's car and get it out of harm's way. The clock, of course, the 40-minute clock continues to run under these conditions. So we have a time limit of 40 minutes or 13 laps, whichever comes first. So hopefully this will be a quick recovery of Palfrenier's car.
It's a pretty speedy little race cars, so I'm not too worried about butting up against that 40-minute time here in that 13-lap race, or what will become probably about a maybe 10 green flag laps, worst case scenario. But outside of the kink being one of the worst places to crash just because it's so fast and so unforgiving, it's also the only place on the track where you have to tow a car a couple hundred feet to get it away from anywhere. There's just nowhere to disappear when you have a little off there. So of course, the safety crews will take their time making sure that Palfrenier is okay, and then either flat towing or more likely flatbedding that NDMX5 RF. At least over to Canada Corner, maybe all the way back to the pit lane.
Sure, yeah, there's a couple places they can stow it there at Canada, or it's a pretty short trip from there into the cutout there at turn 13 where they can get into the pit lane, the back door, if you will. Pena in his 8th, make it 9th runoff start with 1 win and a total of 5, make that 6 podiums, as he had a podium earlier today. Won this class, taking his first gold medal a year ago in this class. Nick Leveroni, the most experienced driver in the field with 19, this being his 20th runoff start. So while we're waiting for this cleanup to continue, let's take a moment to thank our partners once again, and we'll be back with you with the restart for this STL finale for the weekend.
My name is Danny Richardson.
Eileen Blondo.
I'm Ryan Chi.
I'm Connor Zilish.
I'm from the San Francisco region.
Part of the Central Carolina region of SCCA.
It just fosters the best, not only in me, but in the cars that I could bring.
I grew up around this amazing community that created me for who I am today.
I belong to the SCCA.
I belong to the SCCA.
I belong to the SCCA.
I belong to the SCCA because every time I come to an event, I feel like I'm at home.
Do you want to get started autocrossing, but you're looking around and thinking, man, I got to buy a new car? Maybe not. Say you want to get into track days, but you're looking around and thinking, I got to spend a fortune on Go Fast parts. Maybe not. Maybe you want to get into time trials, but you're looking around and thinking, man, I got to buy a new truck and trailer for this. Maybe not. With SCCA Club Spec, you just might have the car you need already, and it just might look like one of these two. S197 Mustang if you like V8s and torque, NC Miata if you like compact and agile. SCCA Club Spec, spirited dailies, competitive race cars. Learn more at scca.com.
Welcome back to Road America as we are under a full course yellow for a first lap incident involving Daniel Palfrenier. We understand they did not roll an ambulance, so that's a good sign. It's just a matter of recovering his car after that contact with the barrier just past the kink down in Kettle Bottoms. Get a good shot of Amy Mills, number 114, black and pink Mazda Miata. As Mike Taylor taking the lead just before the yellow flag came out, as he made that pass down into Canada Corner, taking advantage of the additional horsepower perhaps, and that slightly bigger motor and the Acura Integra.
Yeah, how about Mike Taylor? In his 9 attempts, he's gotten 1 podium. It was last year, finished 3rd to Pena and Moser, but man, he came up to play today, and it was actually his run through the kink that gave him the opportunity to make the pass down into Canada Corner. A little bit longer wheelbase, and of course, as you mentioned, the slightly larger engine displacement, although these cars have a minimum weight calculated off of their engine displacement. So in theory, we're as close to makes no difference power to weight racing. And Taylor was really, really on it. Pena looked a little uncomfortable through the kink the first time, although we know from last year's race, Pena was really strong through there as the race went on. That's where he had Moser covered to win his first championship in this class last year. This is going to be a battle.
Yeah, no question. Another driver making his 20th runoff start is Dan Harding in the number 79. Dan only has a single top 10 in his 20 runoff starts, so his best finish a 10th at Road America in Super Touring Lite a year ago. So that's where he had his best finish of his runoffs career. So looking for better things from Dan here this weekend, perhaps bettering his best finish at this one. As these drivers wasted no time keeping temperature in the tires, hoping that a restart is imminent here. What great variety of cars. A whole bunch of Miatas and MX-5s, of course, but the Integra, the CRX for Pena, the Integra for John Sewell as well, one of Sports Cars picks to finish on the podium. That Ford Focus of Maxwell Kittleson seems to be a bit of an outlier, but he finished 8th in this race a year ago for his best runoffs finish. This is his 4th attempt at it. There's a good shot of Dan Harding in the 79, showing plenty of runoffs experience.
This class a little bit of an outlier in the SCCA rulebook in that most classes say, here's the car that you're going to race, or you have this car, here's how you can prepare it. Instead, this class says you can run anything with 2-liter motors or under, and you have to meet this weight. So that's why you may see a little bit different variety choosing the Focus. There's also a Prelude in this race. Of course, pretty much Hondas and Mazdas have been settled on, as most motorsports tends to be, but we've had some pretty cool cars come through these classes, and then STU, the sort of sister class above 2 liters up to, I believe, 3.5, or boosted cars with smaller displacements.
You've had some wheel time behind most of the cars in this field, I would think, especially the Hondas.
Similar, of course, yeah, and they're tons of fun. I mean, they are momentum cars. It's stuff that you drive on the throttle. You're maximizing apex speeds. They are not powerful in any sense, but they are certainly powerful for their weight, and they're just so quick, especially in corners like this. We're looking at the exit of the carousel. You're grabbing 4th or 5th gear, depending on the gear ratios, and it's at 110 miles an hour with a little bit of yaw in the car, sliding out just ever so slightly, getting it to rotate. They're a handful for sure, and particularly the front-wheel drive cars are very interesting to race. The differentials they use are very aggressive. As soon as you pick up the power, it pulls the front where the front tires are pointing, rather than using, because they don't have enough power to break the traction, instead of torque steering the way that you might think. So they're a really, really aggressive setup, but the rear-wheel drive cars, of course, perfect 50-50 weight distribution or very close to it. Really well-balanced cars. And Danny Stain, who really kind of set the bar for this class for a number of years, was running the NC MX-5. But all these drivers settling in.
Yeah, so we're ready for a restart. My next question to you was going to be, does this shortened race now, as we're going to be completing race lap number 3 as they take the green once again, does that favor anybody? I would think the front-wheel drive cars might look to this pause as a positive.
Yeah, a little less wear on the front tires. Also, the longer wheelbase on Mike's car is going to be a little bit better than Pena. The short wheelbase going to stay nervous for longer. Also, the front engine rear wheel drive cars are going to be a little bit heavier, so they use the tires up a bit more. They're going to like the shorter race. I mean, you could make a case for anybody.
Gotcha. So it doesn't favor anybody in the field, basically. Safety car pulls in again. Tip of the hat to the Road America safety crew. They have been busy this weekend, and they've done a fantastic job of recovering these disabled vehicles and getting us back to green flag racing, and that's where we're headed. And still waiting on the green, a little juggling here as Jose's a little impatient to get the hammer down. But here we go.
Nick Liveroni also goes for the Spec Miata start, but the big mover and shaker, John Sewell up the outside in the blue Integra. He's going to charge from 6th up to 4th now. Liveroni was pushing Pena into the green flag, and now they're going to touch maybe at the apex. Taylor sweeps the outside, keeps the confidence up. Pena keeps it there as well, and he's going to have the easier route through turn 3.
Indeed, and it looks like Liveroni's going to try to follow him through as they head down into turn 3, but no, he falls in behind Mike Taylor. So Pena back to the point here as he's able to get on the throttle quickly. Chuck Hines there right behind them in the 57, a good start for Chuck as he's up a couple spots from where he qualified. As they head under the bridge and down the hill toward turn 5. Pena at the point. Taylor going to try to go around the outside as they head down into turn number 5. But Pena later on the brakes. Taylor running a little bit wide once again, just as he did in turn 1, kicking up a cloud of dust. That gives Pena a little more breathing room. And Liveroni's right on Taylor's back bumper as they come through turn number 6.
Hot and heavy stuff. You saw John Sewell get maybe a point by up the inside of Chuck Hines, not wanting to waste any time battling. So Sewell now through to 4th. Hines using every bit of track. The NC Miata now. Taylor again confident on the brake, shows the nose. Pena's not going to take the bait. He rotates and flings the CRX down to the apex of 8.
Yeah, if anything, Taylor's car looks a little more nervous than Pena's does, at least at this stage of the game. And here comes Liveroni in the Miata as he is going to try to make some hay here through the carousel turn to see if he's got anything. But when you get the car pointed straight, this is where Taylor's going to have the advantage. He's got a little more grunt.
Got a little bit wide through the carousel, but he is so confident, throwing caution to the wind. Slings it through the kink one more time, all the way out to the grass creed. Unfortunately, he lost some distance in the carousel. I don't think he's going to get a chance to make the pass one more time. No, they're single file all the way to Canada corner.
Pena's going to do his best to get as far away as he can, realizing that he's probably got a little bit of a straight line disadvantage. And then look at this gaggle of cars behind it. Craig McAfee, John Sewell, Deacon Greenfield, Amy Mills, all in a run here. As Hines just dropping behind John Sewell at the front of this group. There's the 68 of Bill Collins and that red Civic, or blue Civic, excuse me. Up the hill they come. Pena getting a good run down the front straightaway. He sets fast lap of the race after the restart. Of course, it'll get a little quicker. This time it'll be a flying restart as the top 3 about equally spaced, and then Sewell. And here comes Hines challenging him. Just behind Hines, Craig McAfee in the number 68 red Mazda. Once again, Mike Taylor all the way out to the runoffs, kicking up some dust at the exit of turn 1.
Amy Mills nearly picking up the position from Deacon Greenfield, but Greenfield covers her back down to the apex of turn 3. And I was going to say, it looks like John Sewell, as racy as he was at the beginning of these races, doesn't quite have the raw speed. Maybe a bit of a cork in the bottle for the NC MX-5s just behind. They're starting to lose distance to the top 3, but the top 3 are certainly staying within striking distance of each other. Here comes McAfee.
Not quite close enough, but Hines is right there on Sewell's bumper. And again, it's the story of the Integra with maybe a little more horsepower versus Sewell in the Mazda, or excuse me, Hines in the Mazda. As they work their way out of turn 6 through 7 and into Hurry Downs. The top 3 stay about equally spaced. So the challenge Mike Taylor was able to put on Pena in the opening lap has not reared its head again, at least not at this early stage. But this is a good 3-car battle for that 4th position. In fact, the 2 Miatas going after it, Hines and McAfee. Now Hines gets a great run through the carousel, right on the back of John Sewell.
Almost too good, drops the left rear in the dirt coming out of the carousel, keeps his foot in it, no harm, no foul. Little flick of the wheel of those neon yellow gloves through the apex of the kink. That MX-5 is not as glued to the pavement as you might think. He's working hard in there, but he gets a good run, sets the rotors, looks to the inside, thinks better of it. No, jumps down the inside, and he's going to take the point. Look at the brake rotors
but does he go wide? He does go wide, and that's going to open the door for Sewell to try to do the over-under. They're side by side as they come through Thunder Valley, but then Hines gets it done as he solidifies that pass and puts himself into 4th spot. Sewell and then McAfee. And a gap back to Deacon Greenfield in the 32. In fact, Greenfield's been passed. It looks like Amy Mills has gotten around him. We'll check it out as they come to the line. But here comes Sewell getting alongside Hines, using the power of that Acura.
Can't tell if it's frustration or humor that Chuck Hines has with his fist out the window. Almost looked like he's trying to row the boat to keep up with Sewell, but Sewell easily covers him down the long straightaway. That's the balance this class always has had. But Sewell's going to cover him into turn one pretty easily with a car length lead. Both of the MX-5s going for the momentum line. Sewell trying to get it pointed, keep things efficient with the front wheel drive.
Yeah, and he made some good progress through turn one, right back on the bumper of John Sewell as they exit turn three. McAfee just a couple car lengths further back. Then Amy Mills, Deacon Greenfield back to 8th. But back to the front here as Jose Pena sets fast lap of the race again, a 2:32.4. He qualified at a 2:32 flat, so he's within a half a second with full tanks of qualifying pace. As Taylor's car once again goes a little bit wide as he's using up all the track and then some.
Minimizing risk as well, not using a lot of exit curbs, which is probably smart, at least at this stage in the race, although he makes a liar out of me on that turn 7 run at least. These curbs are so aggressive. These cars from the 90s or early 2000s just aren't meant to take that sort of abuse on their factory suspension components. So you see most of the drivers taking calculated risks more so than caution to the wind. But Taylor is really keeping him honest. He's losing about 3 or 4 tenths in sector 1. Otherwise, is matching the pace of our leader right now. Last time across the line, only 3 tenths difference in raw lap time between those two. Still within striking distance.
Leveroni, the man who's eligible for the Super Suite, if he can find his way to the top, is about a second off the pace of the two in front of him, but he's the best of the Miatas. As this battle continues, Chuck Hines trying to keep the pressure on Sewell. Whoa, Hines got about at a 45-degree angle on the grass creek. That'll get your attention for sure. McAfee's going to try to capitalize on that.
Spooky moment. McAfee looks to the outside, actually, looking like he's not quite ready to pounce. Amy Mills is coming ever so closer to both of these drivers. Turns in on the curb on the outside, gets a little bit more rotation, grabs the inside curb to add insult to injury, very nearly anyway, and floats it all the way to the outside curb. That was probably one of those slides that felt way bigger than it was in the cockpit of that car.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think he took just a little too much curb on the entry, and that's what unsettled the car. But he survived to race another day. And now McAfee all over his back bumper. Let's see if he's going to try the drafting pass here. Does he pop or does he stay? Looks like he's going to stay.
These two very experienced in this class. They're going to know if they start bickering between the two, they're absolutely going to lose touch with John Sewell. But if they stay line astern, they might have the chance to catch back up to the 4th place driver. So McAfee, I think, doing the smart thing right now, at least for his race. At the front, less than a second still between the two. They've basically tied on lap time, 0.01 apart on the timing sheets. But once again, Taylor losing 3 tenths in the sector, leading off this lap, sector 1.
Sewell has got a little more breathing room as the two MX-5s have been battling each other. So he's got just a little cushion now. As Hines in his 6th runoff appearance, McAfee in his 4th. Both of them still looking for their first podium finishes. Actually, I take that back. McAfee does have a podium. He finished 2nd in STL at Sonoma back in 2018. But Chuck Hines still looking for his first podium.
Evidence of a dirt drop hanging in the air. No doubt from Nick Leveroni pushing everything he's got in that NB MX-5. I believe a 1.8 liter in that car, so a little bit lighter weight. Probably similar to Amy Mills, both flat-out motorsports cars. Running 3rd and 7th right now. Amy Mills had a super lazy rollover in a year past, I believe just last year, kind of a hub failure and then the laziest little tip over you'll ever see for a Miata, but is looking for redemption from that. Keeping up with this battle for 4th.
Let's see if Amy is actually running quicker than these guys. She was marginally faster than McAfee on that last lap, and McAfee was quicker than Hines, so they're coming closer together as those three might have a 3-way battle of the MX-5/Miatas. good shot of Amy's number 114. Manson, Washington, a long toe for her. Jose Pena comes across the line and resets, fast lap of the race at a 2:32.1. And that is almost at qualifying pace, within a 1/10 of a second. As Leveroni pedaling as hard as he can, certainly the best of the Mazdas, but not able to stay with the two in front, as he's dropped back about 3.5 seconds behind Mike Taylor.
And for the first time, Taylor also 0.7 slower than Pena, so a little bit of weakness starting to show in Taylor. He's definitely made up with it for certain sectors with some bravado, excuse me, easy for me to say. But as we might have anticipated based on past performances, Pena seems to have the raw pace in the CRX at this point in the race.
This battle for fourth between Sewell, Hines, and McAfee is a compelling one, with Amy Mills pedaling hard to try to catch up with him. She lost a little time on that last lap, so she's about 2 seconds off the back of this group. As Sewell hard on the brakes down into turn number 5. I would say these three just about equally spaced now. About a second covers the three of them, as McAfee drops a wheel in the dirt at the exit of turn 5.
All three of them personal bests last time through. Chuck Hines with a right front issue, misses the entry for turn 6. Is there potentially an issue with the right front of that car, or did he just get it wrong? It's an odd mistake to have it go off that straight, but maybe just a slight slide into the corner and an overcorrection. Now Amy Mills might have the opportunity. I was just about to say Chuck Hines was the fastest of those 3 cars last time through, but something is amiss with that number 57.
And Amy Mills all over his back bumper trying to find a way around here on the carousel. So Hines may be struggling with an issue of some kind, and Amy's going to try to capitalize on it. That would be a 6th place if she's able to find her way around. Hines back up to speed now, just behind Amy, Deacon Greenfield. That red CRX, number 32, he's going to make it part of the battle.
So look at how it happened, and sure enough, the car floats the rear end coming over the crest at turn 6, and he overcorrects ever so slightly. Has to get on the brakes, gather it up, drives it straight off the track, and comes back on just in front of that number 114.
Had plenty of dirt on the tires, I'm sure, so it took a corner or two to get them cleaned off.
That's not the first time we've seen that green Miata slide this race. So the back end of that car, not particularly happy. Chuck's trying everything he can to keep it tame without losing a lot of time. But even there, you can see it pivot pretty hard into the final corner. A little bit nervous on exit as well.
Amy Mills, seeing that, is right on his bumper and going to try to capitalize. And the other CRX with Greenfield, they're in the shot as well as they blast across the line. Pena with a 2.5 second lead over Leveroni. Over Leveroni, another 4 seconds back in the 3rd spot, as this battle between Hines and Mills for 6th position. As McAfee up into 4th spot in front of John Sewell. Working race lap number 9. So there'll be 4 to go next time by.
Oh, look at this. Drag race down into turn 5. It's not even a drag race. Craig McAfee has gone through on John Sewell. And that had happened sometime in the previous lap, because in fact, Craig McAfee led across the line. Timing and scoring shows him 4th on the previous lap.
Yep. That happened in the lap just completed before this one. So Sewell must have made a boo-boo somewhere. And it could be that Sewell just lost a little momentum when he saw Hines go off behind him, perhaps, I'm not sure. Or McAfee was able to take advantage somewhere else, but able to move up into that 4th spot. So should any of the top 3 have a problem, McAfee's in a position for a podium.
Sewell wants to keep McAfee's attention. He showed the nose into the mirrors of the red MX-5 down into turn number 8. Just trying to say, hey, I know you went by me, but I'm still here, and I might still be quicker than you. Sewell does seem to respond really well to a rabbit to chase or someone to race. When he got out in front, he was a little bit of the cork in the bottle for those 2 cars, but now that he's got a rabbit, he might pick up the pace just ever so slightly, but McAfee's starting to pull away as I say that.
Let's run down into Canada. He should have a little bit of advantage at the tail end of the Kettle Bottom Straight. As McAfee goes wide, using up all the racetrack. Sewell with a little tidier line is able to turn that into a bit of gain. They were separated at the line by just over a second, and I think it's closer than that now. And here's the battle behind between Hines and Mills. Chuck Hines in the green 57, Amy Mills in the black with the white top 114. And right there to pick up the pieces from those two if they come to tears is Deacon Greenfield in the other Honda CRX. It's across the line they go.
Actually saw that CRX down in the Mazda paddock. Hang on, I'll hold that thought. Here we go, challenge for 4th position. Sewell's gonna pinch McAfee all the way down to the apex curb.
Sewell goes a little wide at the exit, and McAfee's able to hang on to that position. Sewell tries to do the crossover here down into turn 3, as he has the inside line in that turn. He's gonna make the pass. So Sewell, a good bit of racecraft there. As they got side by side through turn 1, and Sewell was able to turn that into an overtake by the time they got to the bottom of the hill there at turn 3.
And as quickly as that happens, it's going to give the draft back to Craig McAfee, who tucks it right in. Those NCMX5s, known for a lot of things, but aerodynamic prowess is not necessarily one of them. They respond really well to the draft, but McAfee not quite able to stay close enough to challenge down into turn 5. To complete my thought on Greenfield, I saw that CRX sitting down in the Mazda paddock getting help from some other competitors to realign it and work on it a little bit earlier this week. So even though they're different makes and models, the SCCA members all helping each other out to keep the cars running strong here at the runoffs.
That's what we love to see here. It's a big family. Some of these classes more so than others. Formula V probably the poster child for the racing family basically, where they all help one another. Some of these other classes the same way as well. It's all about fun with cars, as the SCCA slogan is. And McAfee right on the tail of John Sewell, who retook that 4th spot earlier in this lap. And Sewell also using up a little bit of the grasscrete there at the kink. McAfee's got to run. Sewell guarding the inside line down into Canada. McAfee going to stay late on the brakes, but not quite close enough, but he can do the over-under here, and Sewell's going to be compromised on exit.
Sewell covered him perfectly. McAfee still has a good enough run to show the nose up the inside for 13. Tough move to make. Sewell's going to sweep the momentum line around the outside and pick up a couple car lengths of comfort coming back onto the front straight, as Jose Pena continues to lead this race on lap 11 of 13 last time through is what we're working. So this is essentially 3 full laps to go. Squirrel. down through turn 2. But Mike Taylor, I got to say, he was a little quicker last time through. He is absolutely giving it everything he's got. Took a couple of tenths out of Pena in sector 2. These two are exchanging fast laps and fast sectors back and forth. But this is the best battle yet.
Yeah, this one between McAfee and Sewell is a dandy, as McAfee retakes that position as they make the run down the front straightaway. Again, you'll notice some leaves collect. Oh, trouble for Hines, as he is way off. And yeah, I think you're right. Something not right with that car, as he is off the pace. Amy Mills takes over that position up into 6th. Deacon Greenfield now all over her. We didn't see the incident, but Amy probably backed out of it when Hines pulled off. And now here comes Deacon Greenfield in the CRX with help from his friends in the Honda paddock. So we'll get a replay on Hines here coming up as those two stay side by side. Hines way down to the inside at turn 1. Amy Mills trying to go around the outside.
Whoa, that is an interesting float there. It looks like some suspension components have been slowly bending maybe in the back end of that car. As soon as he went to the brakes, it just turned itself to the right. And I think it was a little bit before Hines realized he was headed for a trajectory off the track and had to kind of recover it the best he could.
And as these two got by, it looks like Greenfield's moved up into that 7th position. Actually, it would be 6th, as Hines is now dropping down the order. Greenfield in only his 2nd runoff start. And actually, looking for his first runoffs finish. He was a DNF in 2024 in his first runoff start. And he's able to move himself up the order into what will be 6th position. Amy Mills back to 7th.
I didn't hear a lift from either of them through the kink. Full commitment at nearly 115 miles an hour. There's a look at your second place driver, Mike Taylor.
As he crosses the line to complete race lap 11, 2 to go. Working lap 12, that'll give us the white flag next time by. Mike Taylor with the inside rear wheel hoisted off the ground and that front wheel drive Acura.
Pena another 4/10 quicker last time through. Just 4/10 is just nothing, and that's about the margin between these two every single lap. Taylor now runs a little bit wide at turn 3. Back into that car starting to float around. We're getting into the territory where the tire degradation is going to just start to kick in these last few laps on these fairly light cars. But Taylor, again, now 3.1 seconds back of Pena. On 4 miles worth of asphalt here at Road America. That is such a small margin. You can see what it's ballooned to at this point, and then a little bit of ways back to the 37 of Leveroni.
Yeah, he's almost 8 seconds behind Taylor as they crossed the line last time. McAfee running a little quicker than Leveroni, but he's 17 seconds up the road in the number 68. Sewell now about 2 seconds behind him. Amy Mills was able to get back around Deacon Greenfield after we left her last. So she's moved up into 6th, Greenfield back to 7th. It's a good shot of Nick Leveroni, the Massachusetts native, as he works his way under the Motul Bridge and into the carousel. As we're in the closing stages of this one, and the close battles have evaporated a bit. Greenfield and Mills still the closest together as they cross the line almost side by side. There's the 68 of our 4th place runner, Craig McAfee, who just set his personal best at 2:34.6.
Still taking risks, though, all the way across the curbing at turn 8. He's pulled away from Sewell at this point. Maybe looks like he's started to settle into whatever he can salvage at this point. Appears to be a bit off pace through the carousel a bit. Last time across the line, it was 2 seconds between those two after their great battle. And then this is good stuff between Mills and Greenfield, who have swapped positions yet again. I think Greenfield is maybe the fan favorite in the live stream chat right now. So many fans watching the driver of that red CRX, giving it all he's got.
Here's the Ford Focus, the 09 of Maxwell Kittleson, running in 9th position. Carl Young just behind him in the number 23 Honda Prelude, the only Prelude in the field, as we have completed race lap number 12. Working 13. White flag is in the air. I was just looking at the starter stand. I didn't see it, but he's holding it out in front. So blocked by the crowd on the starter stand.
And eclipsed by the sun. The sun is getting very low at this point. Driver's going to have to do everything they can to see some of these apexes as they drive towards the west. Mike Taylor, got to say, took 7/10 out of the lead last time through. Pena maybe just hitting the cruise button at this point, but I think by the evidence of dropping tires at turn 3, Taylor is not. Final time down on the binders into turn 5.
Pena looking for back-to-back championships here in Super Touring Lite, if he can make it happen, but Taylor is visibly closer, no question about it. If Pena was already counting that gold medal around his neck, he better get a look in his mirrors, because Mike Taylor might have a different idea about it.
Yeah, Pena doing the smart thing, staying off the curbs and keeping it tidy. Taylor doing the smart thing and giving it all he's got. It's the last lap of the runoffs, and you're in second. To Hayward's favorite analogy, second place is the least happy podium finisher, and Taylor's going to do everything he can to at least put on a show and bring that gap down a little bit further. Glued to the inside grass, the back end rotating beautifully as our camera shot pans through the carousel. Taylor's Integra still looking really, really nice. Runs a little bit wide off the apex, but the front end's going to pull it through. He is getting closer, but I think Pena looks comfortable. I think he's managing this one.
Taylor's Integra hoisting that inside rear wheel off the ground in the carousel. When we saw Sewell go through, he was not able to get that inside rear wheel off the ground. So definitely generating a little more G-forces as Mike Taylor
Takes a full second. Oh, there's the first mistake, pushing so hard. He took a full second out of the lead in Sector 2, but I think that push on the way into Canada Corner is going to seal the deal.
As Jose Pena from Puerto Rico making his way through the finals turn and up the hill for the final time to make it back-to-back championships for Jose Pena. I don't want to give him the commentator's curse here as he's 100 yards short of the start-finish line, but no question as he waves to the starter and takes the checkered flag. Great job for Jose Pena. After an early battle with Mike Taylor, Taylor responding on the last lap with one of his best laps of the race. Closes to within 2 seconds. Nick Leveroni, super sweep, not going to be in his pocket, but a podium finish will be. And that's his third podium in 20 tries. And Amy Mills holding off the challenge from Deacon Greenfield in the battle for 6th and 7th. McAfee across the line in 4th position. John Sewell still has not yet crossed, but we expect him to take the 5th spot. And there he is. And here is 6th and 7th as Amy Mills in her 19th runoff start takes a 6th place finish. And that's better than her career best. Her best STL finish was a 9th at Indianapolis in 2021. So Amy with her career best finish of 6th. Here's the 23 of Carl Young running in 9th as he was able to get around Max Kittleson on the last lap, the lap before this one, as Kittleson had the lead just the last time we saw those two. So good run for Carl Young, taking 9th place, and Kittleson takes the last spot in the top 10. John Elder and Dan Harding rounding out the field of the 12 cars still running. Chuck Hines retiring after lap 10, and Balfiner didn't complete the first lap after that scary moment, getting through the kink on the first racing lap. So Jose Pena taking the final gold medal of the 2025 runoffs, presented by Sunoco. There's Dan Harding, the last car on the lead lap. Dan on his 20th runoff start. Not quite matching his best runoffs finish, which was a 10th here a year ago, but still got it to the finish with the Kreider Racing logo on the front of that Miata.
Certainly invisibly one of the more mild STL cars, maybe a spec Miata with an engine swap or something akin to that, but brings it home. Checkered flag flies. The Dominican Republic fans in the live stream chat go wild meantime for Jose Pena taking home his 2nd championship. There is a ton of celebration going on in there, and that is a really cool thing to see.
Bravo, Jose. Bravo, República Dominica. Forgive me for you Spanish-speaking folks. I had high school Spanish many years ago. As Jose waving to the crowd and the corner workers. And speaking of which, we cannot say enough about all the volunteers that make this racing possible as we come to a conclusion of our final race of the 2025 runoffs. All of these folks from all around the country making this annual pilgrimage to the runoffs and plying their trade in all the specialties, all the stewards and the grid people and the corner marshals, of course, and timing and scoring and registration, everything that puts a race on. These folks donate their time and make this part of their annual vacation trip. And here at Elkhart Lakes Road America, we'll be back here next year one more time as Jose Pena rolls to a stop. His 2nd podium of the day and his 2nd gold medal of his career on his 8th runoff start.
I don't know which one it was, but they came in on the chip. Once a Honda Hot Boy, always a Honda Hot Boy. I gotta say, I think it was Taylor, but both of them. Look at that.
Jose worked hard for that one, and he's a little emotional, I can tell. And he's not the first, I can tell you that. We'll get the gold medal around his neck and then send it down to Hayward to have a chat with our latest champion. Hayward, you can take it whenever you're ready, my friend.
Getting the last piece of national champion accoutrement on. Jose, welcome back. Your second national championship. How's it feel?
It feels amazing. It feels amazing. Like I say in the STU race, a dream come true. A dream come true. I feel blessed.
Tom O'Gorman, who's calling the race up in the booth, says that the chat in the YouTube has just exploded with friends and fans and people who are just so happy for you. You have a message for them?
Of course, my fans from Dominican Republic, my family, you know how we like party. And thank you so much for your support, my family, especially my wife and my kids.
Well, you get to take one more lap around this racetrack. It's with a checkered flag. Enjoy that lap.
Thank you so much.
Jose Pena, popular victor once again. Back-to-back victories in this class here at the Runoffs. As here's a rundown of the results. Jose Pena taking the win by 2 seconds over Mike Taylor. Nick Lavaroni finishing on the podium as well. Craig McAfee with a great race-long battle with John Sewell. Gets the better of him at the end. Sewell finishing 5th. Amy Mills with a career-best 6th place finish. Deacon Greenfield comes home in 7th. Bill Collins, Carl Young, and Maxwell Kittleson rounding out the top 10. John Elder, Dan Harding still running at the end and on the lead lap. Chuck Hines, after running in the top 3 in the early stages, unfortunately with a problem 3 laps from the end.
After jumping the restart, Jose Pena was assessed a 5-second penalty, which promoted Mike Taylor to 1st, moved Pena to 2nd, and left Nick Lavaroni in 3rd.
Hayward's ready with our 2nd place and 3rd place finishers. I think he's got Mike Taylor. Hayward?
Mike, I've seen you drive some pretty aggressive laps in my life. Have you ever driven one harder than the last lap of that race?
No, I was going really hard, and I thought if I really put it together, I might get him because I had brakes on him all day long. Thought if I can get close enough, maybe I can get him into Canada, but not quite. And I overcooked it a little bit, and man, it was really fun. Jose, I mean, to run with Jose is tough. He is a hell of a driver and a hell of a car, and yeah, I'm super happy.
You have been in this class for a long time. You've pushed really hard. This is your best finish. How satisfying is a 2nd place here at the Runoffs for you?
Oh, it's amazing. It's almost like winning. Well, it's not almost like winning, but it's pretty good. Yeah. The last 4 years or 3 years, I've been 4th, 3rd, and 2nd. So I guess I got to come back next year, huh?
We'll be waiting for you. Congratulations on the silver.
Okay, thank you.
And Nick Lavaroni, it's a 50-50 shot. 50-50 shot. I'm going to get it right every other time. Bronze, back to the podium. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, what a fight. Not too much for those Hondas in a straight line, but and to be perfectly honest, they're not that much slower in the corners, so a little tough for me to kind of keep up when I'm getting pulled down the straightaways. But we gave it everything we had, and I was really hoping they were going to be able to fight a little bit longer, but it didn't turn out that way, and I was just kind of watching chain of 3 of us going down the straightaway.
How hard is it to come here as a prep shop owner to manage all your team, manage your drivers, manage their cars, and then put a helmet on and go out and drive?
Luckily, I've got a great crew, so they take care of the bulk of the stuff, and my customers are the best, right? Amy and Whit, they're the ones that come to the Runoffs with us, and they're super easy to deal with, and they love racing, and they love being around the atmosphere, so they make it easy.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Nick Lavaroni, 3rd place finisher in his 20th Runoff start. And giving good credit where credit is due. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a period as we're going to have the highlights for our final race of the weekend. There's a good shot of Mike Taylor's car as they take the green flag. Jose Pena getting the jump. Lavaroni right there in 3rd spot. And here's where Nick Taylor laid on the brakes, Mike Taylor makes the move. And then it was a scary moment on that 1st lap. As Balfinger into the barrier, but fortunately he was okay. Took a lap or 2 behind the safety car to get that recovered, but we're back underway. And on the restart, Mike Taylor at the point. Jose Pena was not to be denied as he stays hot on his heels and then gets the pass done here at turn 3. That won't be the last time those two swapped a position. Lavaroni right there on his tail. Here comes a great shot of Chuck Hines, in the 57. Battle between McAfee and Sewell all race long. Sewell with the advantage in some places. McAfee finally got the better of him at the end. And Jose Pena gets the job done as he works his way to the checkered flag for the 2nd year in a row. Congratulations to Jose Pena taking the final gold medal of the 2025 Runoffs. And that'll be our opportunity to say our goodnights, Tomo. It's always a pleasure to share this booth with you, my friend. I'd like to give a shout out to Larry McLeod, who also co-announced with us, and of course Hayward Wagner, our Danica in the pits with the red beard. And we certainly enjoy Hayward's view, and Ryan Marine, of course, making his first run at the anchor desk for a while. He was back here about 5 years ago doing the same thing, and thanks to Ryan for his great work. I got nothing else for you, and other than to say have a safe tow home wherever you're headed, and we look forward to seeing you next year right here at America's National Park of Speed for the 2026 Runoffs. This has been the SCCA National Championship Runoffs presented by Sunoco. I'm John Phippen. On behalf of the entire crew, thanks for being with us. We'll see you down the road.
Shopping for tires used to really ruffle my feathers. That was before I went to TireRack.com. TireRack made it easy to identify the right tires. No more searching high and low, I got the best deal. TireRack has thousands of recommended installers. I chose a mobile installer. They brought the tires to my neck of the woods and put them on, right here in my driveway.
You're all done?
Thank you. When it's time for new tires, trust the experts. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Choose joy. Choose the road. Choose your people. Choose your shot. Take it. Choose to get in there. Even better, get out there. That's it. Way out there. Choose your calling. Choose to really care. Choose to go for it. Just choose. We craft cars for those who choose to do more than simply move.
I wake up.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Hagerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, offer less than a set of race tires. Hagerty, let's drive together.